Welcome back everybody, it's Boondog with another MX Bikes video, and first off I want to apologize for taking a while to get another video out. I've been really busy this past week and I've been grinding on this track like Thursday, Friday, and a little bit more today to put these videos out for you. So this track, if you haven't ridden it or seen it, it's Fox Raceway, Paula. I have 2 laps on this version and 2 laps on the ARL Pro version. Now the reason why I'm doing it on this is because I'm kind of going to share my experience of what it was like to try ARL race. I tried to qualify for the ARL Amateur Series, and while I'm making this video I'm also watching the live stream on Peacock for the Fox Raceway, and currently 250 Moto 1 is about to end, and it's a pretty good race so far, but if you guys haven't seen it yet, you should go watch it. Once the gate dropped, everything was just insane. Getting, the first jitters out, the cobweb shaking off, everybody just going fast, and then people crashing. But yeah, let's get back to this video and the live stream. So I'm on the Fox Raceway. This is Paula, I think 2011, and it took me a while to get used to this track. I'm riding on the Yamaha. It took some time to fiddle with some settings and tweak it to where I liked it. I was kind of struggling today to get it to turn right. I think I was struggling yesterday too to get it to turn. It was just not on this track, not this Paula, but the Pro version. I was getting issues with it turning and just reacting right, and you'll see. So this is the first lap. It's coming to an end, and the second lap's coming up here in a second, which is the fastest lap I put down today. I was able to put down a 157 on Thursday, I believe, before the ARL track dropped. And I know I have a 156, maybe 155 in me, but I just could not get a clean lap down. I kept crashing, just trying to push the limits of speed, essentially, for me only having 170 hours in the game. Now, if you haven't ridden this track, you have to run sand tires. I made the big mistake of running mid-softs. I had no idea this was a sand track until I talked to one of my buddies that also races, and he was competing in the ARL series, and he told me you run sand. Okay, that makes sense. Instantly ran 2 seconds faster. And then I started to figure out the track, figure out the lines, the flow of the track, and eventually I started flowing and going faster and learning the limits of this YZ and then my limits of my skills. And the guy I was riding with, he was able to run the 149, 148, so I'm still, even if I could run my fastest lap, I'm still 6 seconds slower than him. And I think he was on the Honda, but I just can't jive with the Honda. I don't like the power band of it, I don't like the top end. It's kind of why I don't really mess with the Suzuki too much. I do like the Kawasaki. I haven't had a chance to really play too much since the patch came out. The patch came out right before this race, essentially. So there would have been no time to basically find a bike within a couple hours and know that it's faster or I'm better on it than this YZ. So I feel like I did pretty good overall on this track. I actually like this old Fox Raceway track. It's not too bumpy and it's pretty fun, honestly. I wish I would see more of these tracks on the multiplayer. Everybody needs to play them. Everybody needs to play these tracks. They're fun. So here we're cutting over to the Pro version that just dropped yesterday. Now this is where my experience with this was, I wouldn't say fun, because as soon as it dropped I was grinding, and we had 3 hours here in North America to play this track before, and it's just bumpy, choppy, and it's insane just how rough this track is. And right there on that corner, if you didn't go to the left or right of that rut, it's like hitting a wall. You just knock you down. And then here you go too fast, you'll blow through that berm. And I think inside was the fastest line there. I'm not the fastest through that section, but if you get those bounces right, you can be pretty smooth up that. And okay, this is the first lap. I rode a few more so I can get a good lap in for you guys to see what my speed is kind of like. I can run faster, I just didn't have the time or the energy to put all the effort into it today. because yesterday I just put so much effort into it. I kind of MX-biked out, you know. Need a break for a day or two before I start grinding again. So the amateur series was hosted by Reaper Doc's Discord with those guys in there, Darius. Those guys were running it. And some of you guys that are watching this video might have actually been in the amateur race with me. I know there's a few people that I've seen on Discord and on my YouTube were actually they made the qualifying for this race for the ARL Amateur Series. They ended up running 2 motos, A and B main, and the cutoff for the B main was a 2:13 lap time. So a lot of us did not make it out of the 450 people that signed up for it. Yes, 450 people signed up for this race, and only 80 people could race. Yeah, so there was a lot of people to go up against, and when I did qualifying, I put down an atrocious time because this track, like right there, you go off in the wrong spot, it wouldn't count your lap. I ran like a really low 220 something, and it did not count it. And I only had 3 minutes left to run, so I ran one, and it was a 2:33 from a qualifying time. That put me in like Group F, I think, for qualifying. But when I looked back through the list and looked at my fast time, I would have only been in the group above me as a 2:22. I would have had to run a 2:13 or faster. And this is a second lap. I'm a faster lap, so that line I just took there is the faster line. And this section, if you don't hit it right, you can lose a lot of time and make up a lot of time. I found if you're standing in there and just kind of rolling through it, counter leaning, and the same right here, you try to find that middle smooth line, and then this corner, there's random choppy bumps. If you hit the right spot, you won't get them. But what really irritated me about this pro track was there was a lot of chop in like corners and things that it didn't need to be there. TFC, those guys, they did a good job making it. For my first ARL experience, I would definitely say it was an experience. If you haven't tried to race ARL, you need to just try it one time and see how hard it really is, and see the competition you're up against. And it makes you realize I'm either really slow, or I'm average speed, or you're fast enough to actually race. So next week is Hangtown, I believe, and I already got that track down. And I've been playing with the new bikes in the patch. Honestly, I might switch from Yamaha. I'm not sure yet. The Cowie's pretty good. I can't run a super fast time on it on Hangtown, but it's I think it's faster than the Yamaha. Husky's pretty quick. It's smooth, but it has that weird pivot point where the foot pegs hit everything. And then I tried the old Italian Stallion, the old TM, and I went the fastest on that bike, which surprised me. But I did have to do my preload adjustments because it is a top-heavy bike. You get some pobobo moments where you bounce back and forth because you're top-heavy. So I lowered it by a couple millimeters, and I think that helped, but you still get them every now and again if you do get off balance. So you have to be really careful about your body positioning. But it was good. I just stiffened the front forks, one spring weight heavier, and then a few clickers softer on the compression. And I stiffened out the rebound and played with the geometry a little bit. And that might be a contender for me to race. So you might be seeing me on a TM instead of Yamaha. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I appreciate you guys watching these videos, liking them, subscribing them, and as always, keep on riding. Oh, and Jett Lawrence is going to win the series and beat Chase Sexton this year. I know it. Jess just got the skills to pay the bills.